Flyers, Phillies, let's talk about them. Sixers, Eagles, let's talk about them. What the Union doing? Pull up with the crew and have a drink or two and let's talk about them. This a PHI bar. Bruce Willis, we die hard. I know you feel us, cause Philly fans is the best sports fans by far. No cheating here, we gon' keep it fair. You don't like my set, somebody help them. This the key, if we can disagree without disrespecting, everybody welcome. So what we talking about? Practice? What we talking about? Let's unpack this. Top Shelf, Sports Talk, lights, cameras, we active.
Yo, it's your boy Jamar, Top Shelf Sports Talk. Back on Sunday morning. Can everybody hear me? Can anybody hear me that's out there watching? Can y'all hear how do I sound? Like, can y'all hear me good? There's a lot of wind going on up here, so I don't know if it's messing with the Wi-Fi because it didn't start off right this morning when I played my intro. But if I can get a thumbs up in the audience if you can hear me or not, I would appreciate it. But I guess if nobody's there or nobody can answer, I'll just keep going on and hope that if anybody comes in here, they can hear me and they can hear me good. It's like the Verizon commercial. Can you hear me? Good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me good? Tell me if you can hear me good before I start speaking and spilling my stuff for today. I do have a question up here for you guys out there, and I would like you to at some point while we're live to answer that question to see if there's anything better that we can do over here, anything different, more, or whatever, less, however you want to look at it. I would like to see if you guys can give me some feedback on that. I got a thumbs up. Appreciate that. Is that a thumbs up that you can hear me good? Because I believe I also fixed my settings for being able to hear my guest. Does it sound good, Jay? Good morning, Jay. Does it sound good, or does it sound normal like it usually sounds? Because I think I fixed my issues that I was having when you came up and I couldn't hear you. So I'm hoping that everything sounds good. This is the first time I really tested it since I did that live with the Eat Sleep Sixer guys. You said your? Don't know why your tag popping up. Week 11, Eagles versus Giants. My tag? I don't know. I may have messed that up. I gotta look at it. All right, sounds normal. So let's go with the show. First of all, if y'all can, Jay, whoever else, if y'all can answer the, throw a little comment on that question right there. Let me know if there's anything that y'all think I could do better. Things that you need to see more, things I need to talk about more, things I need to not talk about. However you want to do it, it doesn't matter. As long as you give some type of feedback and we get the show in a positive direction. But anyway, let's get started on this windy Sunday morning. We got the Eagles versus the Lions. It's going to be a tough game. Lions got a lot of injuries that I was not aware of, but if the Lions lose, of course, they're going to use that as an excuse. I think Sam Laporta is on IR. I think they got somebody else, one of their linebackers on defense that is out for this game. But when it comes to this up and down Eagles team, we don't know what we're going to get. We saw them win last week 10-7 over the Packers, which was a defensive game, which I don't necessarily always mind the defensive games. I believe if Jalen Hurts didn't fumble in that first drive, that the score probably would have been a little bit more than that, because it seems like, it always feels to me like, and y'all could tell me if there's anything different, that if the Eagles are playing with a lead, that the defense get to play a little bit more looser, they fly around a little bit more, and they get stops as they need it. Now, here's my thing about Jordan Love. Jordan Love looked awful, and usually this is around the time of the year he kind of starts to even out. So again, when you come into the beginning of the season, you could sit there and tell me, or you could sit there and base it off of what you thought you saw, what you think you know from last year versus going into this year, and then the addition of Micah Parsons and all that good jazz there. That Michael Jordan Love is better than Jalen Hurts. We're seeing the evidence that he's not. We're seeing evidence right now that he's not better than Jalen Hurts. When the plays need to be made, Jalen Hurts made the plays. Now, don't get it wrong, he did have a touchdown in that game. But we, again, like I tell everybody before, when it comes to Michael Parsons playing against Michael Parsons, we know how to. I mean, he had a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts, but we know how to stay away from the guy. We know how not to let him get a sack, and that's just what we did. I think he had like 6 pressures, no sacks. But that is exactly what we do when we play against Michael Parsons. And I hope Reese, my cousin, is in here because he talked all that trash. The champ is here and all that. What do you have to say now about your team? What is it? Three losses in a row? Y'all lost 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row. You know what I mean? And what do you have to say about your team? Your team is not as good as you thought they were. The Green Bay Packers is not as good as you thought they were. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that they're not going to make the playoffs or anything like that, but y'all not messing with the Eagles. And here's the kicker. I said it last week. I think I said it on the video. I said if the Eagles win against the Packers, which they already did, and they win against the Lions, 2 tough teams 2 weeks in a row in primetime settings, this team could finish the season 9-1 with 9-1 with 1 loss. Another 14-3 season. Y'all can sit there and tell me I'm fanned out or whatever the case may be, but and there's no real evidence that this team can do it. But when this team, like when Jalen Hurts is called to win a game or the defense is called to step up, as we all know, that the defense is what carries this team. The defense is what carries this team. So once the offense gets on page, gets itself in, on point, gets itself in a rhythm, we're gonna get to AJ Brown, get him, in a rhythm. I think this offense has nothing but potential to be the best offense going through the playoff push. Because once you get all these guys on the same page, and we haven't seen all these guys on the same page, excuse me, all season long. We haven't seen them on the same page all season long. But once you get these guys on the same page, and to be 7-2 right now with a possibility of going 8-2, it could be lights out for the league, especially if we start gelling and playing some good offensive football. Think about if AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts get on the same page from this game, which I believe this game is going to be a heavy passing game because they don't have enough to stop the pass. So I believe they're going to attack this team passing the ball, which I'm okay with, and I'm not okay with because I don't want to force feed AJ or force feed Devontae or Dallas Goedert and create turnovers. But I want to see that offense, that passing game, get on rhythm, along with Saquon Barkley, because once they stretch that field out, Saquon Barkley should have some holes, and it should be a nice game for us to prove who we are to the league, to prove that the AJ Brown drama and saga is just what it is, nonsense. Because that's, it's reminiscent of the T.O. and McNabb era. You know what I mean? Where T.O. coming into Philly, they told T.O. not to sign the contract that he got, that the Eagles were offering. They could get him more. He didn't want to listen. He wanted to sign the contract. Had a phenomenal year. Went to the Super Bowl, lost to the Patriots, and then coming into next year, he wanted more money. And the organization's like, well, we signed you for 3 years. We're not in a position to pay you no more money right now. You got to live with that contract. And so he acted out, went to the media, and did all of what he did. And AJ's gripe is not about money because he's getting paid. His gripe is not about money. His gripe is about the offense and the way it's structured and going. But I'm gonna go on record and say I agree with everything that AJ Brown is saying, how AJ Brown feels, because as a fan, we sit here and watch it as well. We sit here and look at the offense not do nothing, nowhere near what they are capable of doing. So for AJ Brown, I can understand the frustration. I can understand the irritation. I can understand all of that because we have the ability to do more, and we don't need the defense to constantly bail us out. All we need is for us to play Eagle-style football, and our defense play, Eagles defense, and we good. But we have to put ourselves in position to get to that point. Now, the part that AJ Brown goes wrong in is the fact that he sits there and he does it with the media. He goes on streams. He does all that nonsense, and it's like, AJ, you don't have to do it the way you're doing it. You don't have to air out your frustrations to people that can't help you. They can't do a thing for you. The media cannot go to Nick Sirianni and tell him that, oh, you should run plays for AJ Brown. The media can't go to Kevin Patullo and say, you need to run plays for AJ Brown. That has to be done in-house. That has to be done with you. And according to Kevin Patullo, you're always in his office. You're always, engaged and talking with him. So it seems like your position is being heard. But again, you also got to look at what the defense is doing on the field as well. You got to understand that the defense might be taking you out of plays, just like Nick Sirianni pointed out, the touchdown pass to Devontae Smith. That was for you, but they dropped 2 on you. So they went to Devontae and got the touchdown. So at the end of the day, like, if the defense is scheming to stop you and the defense is scheming to stop Saquon Barkley, know that your presence is effective on the field. Now, I can understand if we were losing, but we're not losing. Know that because they are doubling you, trying to take Saquon out, the ball's going to go around the other guys, Smitty, Dallas Goedert, Jahan Dotson. Who else they can get the ball to? Because at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts doesn't want to force 50-50 balls to you in a position where he can get a turnover and cost the game. See, that'd be my only part about what AJ Brown is doing, is the fact that if you're losing games and you're not winning, I would respect you going to the media and you saying stuff like that. But you're winning games. And largely because of your presence on the field is the reason why we're able to attack with other receivers or, other players, because AJ Brown is on the field. You got to account for him. And I wish somebody would, I don't know. I saw what, I think they interviewed Smitty yesterday, and they asked him, what does he feel about it? He said, that's his thing. That ain't got nothing to do with me and this and the third. I wish it would be more people that would go to him and say, yo, bro. I mean, and I'm not saying that it ain't. Don't get it wrong. I'm not saying that there's not. But we're 8-2. 7-2. With the potential tonight to go 8-2 under the limelights. And hopefully, if we continue to build on any momentum that we get tonight, cruise our way through the rest of the regular season and into the playoffs, and possibly right back to the Super Bowl where you want to be at. I mean, what sounds more better? A 900-yard season, 10, 15 touchdowns, and 2 Super Bowl championship rings, or 1,000+ yards season and no Super Bowl. What's up, Jabria? What's going on? Thanks for being on the show. Appreciate you. Hope all is well. But what's better? You know what I mean? What would you say? What would you want more? A championship ring or the stats? Like somebody in the audience, help me out. What would you want more? The championship ring or the stats? That's what I want to know. Because me personally, I want the stats. I mean the championship ring. I'm sorry, I want the championship ring. I don't care about the stats. You know what I mean? I only did that because I said I want the stats first. I messed up. I got tongue tied. But if you hear real quick, drop a comment on this question right here, because like I said, I want to make sure I'm covering everybody and everybody getting kind of what the experience they want when it comes to this show. If there's anything that I'm not talking about or I'm talking about too much, please let me know. I also need y'all to comment in the comments. Let's have a back and forth conversation about what's going on with the AJ Brown situation in the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's get some understanding on what we need to do to get back into the Super Bowl and have a successful rest of the regular season. What are your comments for tonight? What do you think that we need to do tonight when we're playing at 8 o'clock at the Linc on Sunday Night Football, because the pressure is everything is going to be about what Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown do tonight. That is what the whole show or game is going to be about tonight. What is AJ Brown doing? The cameras are going to be focused on him. They're going to see if he's going to be on the sideline reading books or whatever the case may be. They're going to see if he's pouting, whatever the case. They're going to try to figure out some type of storyline for Monday morning. But what is your storyline? What do you think is your storyline? What do you want to see happen? Me, like I said, I know it's going to be a heavy pass game. I know it's going to be a force feed AJ, force feed Devontae. I know it's going to be that. I don't want to really see that. I want to see them try to figure out a balanced attack. I want to see them try to run the ball as well as pass the ball and keep this Lions team, on its heels. But I have a feeling, like I said, that it's not going to be that. It's going to be, what this reminds me of is I forget who they played last year before they played the Steelers. And AJ was complaining to them because he complained last year that he wasn't getting the ball or the offense wasn't working or whatever the case may be. And that Steelers game, Jalen Hurts came out and had like 4 or 5 touchdowns to the receivers and on the team. And I remember his press conference, post-game press conference, the first thing he said when he came out was, "Is that what y'all wanted to see?" You know what I mean? And at that time, I think Pittsburgh was coming off a loss, but they are one of the better teams. Oh, it's the Panthers that they played because you had talked to me. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It was the Panthers that they played. They barely beat the Panthers, and they came back and played the Steelers and had one of them crazy passing games. And what happened was Jalen Hurts came out in press conference and says, "That what y'all wanted to see? Is that what y'all wanted to see?" And, while it was good to see, I don't want to see it happen like that tonight to a point where you're force feeding guys and turning the ball over. I don't want to see that happen. Now, mind you, I think he only threw 1 interception on the year, but let's keep that number at 1. Let's not try to reinvent the wheel. Let's not try to please AJ and force him the ball and get out of any type of game plan or any type of rhythm we can establish and lose the game because of ill-advised game plan. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing tonight. What are y'all looking forward to seeing? Like, tell me what y'all think. Because at the end of the day, I say this to y'all every week. I'm up here rambling on and on and on and on and on, and nobody's really commenting or talking to me. And I get to start running out of things to say. So tell me what y'all think. How y'all feel about it? What y'all want to see the game plan be tonight? What y'all think is going to happen? Tell me what y'all believe. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I told y'all what I think. And this is going to be a tight game. Despite all the injuries that the Lions are coming in with, it's still going to be a tight game. And like I said, I believe the Eagles come out with a victory. I believe they win. And I believe it's going to be, one of those at the edge of the seats, like, oh my God, come on. Hopefully let's get this, one of those type of games, because like I said, the Eagles offense hasn't shown us yet this season that we can count on them to be, this bombs away type team, because we can't, But all right, nobody's really talking to me today. I guess everybody's a little still sleeping right now. But anyway, let's get the I don't know, fly Eagles fly. Yep, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to fly Eagles fly. Good morning, honey. Thanks for being a part of the show. Like I said, I'm trying to like you could probably answer the question too. What can I do more? How can I make the experience more enjoyable for people to be a part of the show? Comment. Okay. Jason says balanced attack approach to me keeps D guessing and on their toes. Hope that's where we go instead of focus on AJ. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I believe if you strictly focus on AJ and you strictly like if you just stick on that passing game and believe that that passing game is going to be, what you need to do to keep people quiet, it can mess around and be a long night. Now, it would be lovely to have a night like they had against Pittsburgh last year when this stuff happened. That would be beautiful. But I don't want to see it happen in the sense of it'll cost us a win because we need this win tonight. Like I said, if we win tonight, we kind of go through the rest of the regular season, with a good chance of making it to the playoff. I mean, to the Super Bowl, because we beat some of the key teams that we had to play in the playoffs. And like I said, playoffs is a whole different beast. But I believe if we start to gel offensively, I like Jalen Phillips. I like what he did last week. I like the pressure he had on Jordan Love. I think him and Jalen Carter will only get better. It even made Kelly Ringo look not Kelly Ringo, Adoree Jackson look a little bit better because he was under so much pressure at times that he really couldn't get the ball off. I think Adoree Jackson had that. Was he the one that got scored on? Good morning, honey. I think he was the one that got scored on. I can't remember. Jay, if you still here, tell me. I think that one touchdown that Jordan Love threw. I think was it against Adoree Jackson, or was that against Quavion? I don't think it was with Quavion. No, I don't believe it was with him against him. But if that one touchdown, doesn't happen, the cornerbacks had a good night. Adoree Jackson looked okay, and largely because, like I said, I believe because of the pressure we had up front, and a lot to do with that's how we was last year. A lot of pressure on the quarterback led to our cornerbacks, being successful in coverage because the quarterback had nowhere to throw the ball because he was under pressure. And that's what I want to see for Jalen Phillips and Jalen Carter. There's too many Jalen's on this team. I might get confused. Like, there's too many Jalen's on this team. Like, I want to see Jalen Phillips and Jalen Carter consistently in the backfield against Jared Goff. Jared Goff is not a scrambler. He's not good under pressure. He didn't throw no touchdowns. That's right. That was with Josh Jacobs. My bad. So the cornerbacks actually had a good game last week because of the pressure they were getting up front. If we could continue to find a way to keep that pressure coming, it'd be a lot easier for the Eagles and a lot better for our cornerbacks to keep doing exactly what it is that they're doing and looking good at cornerback 2 position. Now, tell me something, man. Like, this is what I don't understand either. Like, twice this year we've seen what you call, what's his name? What was the D tackle name? Defensive end name, Jason, that we got. Darn, it's on the tip of my tongue that we picked up in free agency, like second game in the season, and then he abruptly retired. Darn, I hate when I had him brain farts. What's up with what's his name? I'm having brain farts with people's names. Jair Alexander, or just abruptly retiring after being traded to the Eagles. And what killed me about it is because his comments was that he wanted to be an Eagle. He's from the area. He grew up as an Eagles fan. Bills wide receiver Keon Coleman, an actor from Missing Practice. Oh yeah, okay. What was the guy name that we just had? That was the defensive end that just retired. Darn, I can't remember his name. But what's up with the sudden retirements is what I want to know. Like, what do you think that's about? Why is people joining the Eagles and then suddenly retiring? That's a cause for concern. Is it the AJ Brown beef, or what is going on maybe behind the scenes that we don't know about? That guys are coming in and like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this. Because we've seen like Devontae Parker, what's his name, Miles Jack, and I forget the other guy name. I can't remember his name right now. Number 50. I know he's number 52 for the Eagles. And he just abruptly retired after like 2 or 3 games, and he had a sack in one of those games. I had like 1.5 sacks. He was looking pretty good, and he's just abruptly retired. Now we add Jair Alexander, who we thought would be a good pickup for the cornerback 2 position, to see him not travel with the team to Green Bay, his former team, and then abruptly retire after that, or abruptly walk away from the team. He's walking away. He's focusing on his body and his health. Like, what is the cause of this happening? Like, why is this happening? I'm trying to figure it out because it doesn't make sense to me. Like, you got a team that's coming off a Super Bowl victory, a team that won a championship last year and got a pretty solid squad to be able to do it again. And if you're in a league where you know that winning Super Bowls is hard, and you come to a team that could possibly win a Super Bowl, and you abruptly retire, is this something going on behind the scenes in the Eagles locker room or organization that making these guys make these choices to retire? Like, because I don't get it. You know what I mean? It's actually frustrating because, like I said, I can't remember his name. Let me see. Let me look it up real quick while I'm sitting here. Eagles players. Oh, Zadarius Smith. Yep, Zadarius Smith. I couldn't think of his name at that point. Zadarius Smith, who abruptly retired. Like, like Jay, what you think is going on in the organization to see a guy like Zadarius Smith, Jair Alexander, Devontae Parker, and Miles Jack, guys just that come to the Eagles organization and wind up just abruptly retiring? Like, what do you think is the cause of that? Like, because again, I'm trying to figure it out, and only thing I could probably possibly think of is definitely weird, but I don't think it's nothing too deep. But it gotta be though, because it's like 4 guys in the last 2 years that did this, or 2 or 3 years that did this. Like, it gotta be something that's going on that we may not be, well, obviously that we are not privy to, but there's something going on that make guys just come here. And like I said, it's not like you're coming to see, like, for Zadarius Smith. You played in I think Cleveland. I think he started off his career in Cleveland. Then he went to Detroit. Then he went to Baltimore, I think. And you get here, and it's like, we out of all those teams, like, we're one of the teams that can possibly, we just come off a Super Bowl, we could possibly go back to win another one, and you just retire. Like, I don't understand. So it got to be something. It got to be something deeper than what is actually being out there. I'm interested to see if somebody try to, at any given time put it out. I'm interested to see if the Eagles, and I hope this don't happen. I'm not speaking this to existence. I'm hoping to see if the Eagles decide to move on from, like, AJ Brown. If the season, say the season just doesn't go our way, and AJ Brown is complaining the whole time, I'm interested to see if anybody puts it out there, especially like AJ, of why guys came and retired just off the bat like that. I want to see what the mindset is of why you come here and then abruptly retire. That to me is interesting, and it's something that to kind of pay attention to, because at the end of the day, it just you don't see that a lot throughout the league, and for it to happen 4 different times with the Eagles, it's like, that's something to pay attention to. Like, I just think it's something deeper than what we may think, or what we may know. But anyway, I've asked some of you guys that are on here if you could answer the question. Nobody answered it yet, to see if I could do anything. If it's nothing that I could do better, okay, you could say that. If that's fine. If it's things that you think that I could do better, or you want to see differently, I want to make it. I want to have a podcast where, as though I'm not talking to myself the whole time, and that if you're sitting here on the show watching, that you guys can feel comfortable with, just even if you don't know what you're talking about, because no question is a dumb question except the question is not asked. Like, you come on here, you could troll me, you could talk trash, you can have whatever you want to do. If you're not an Eagles fan and you want to heckle me, I'm cool with that. I can go back and forth with it. I just want to know what I could do to make your experience better, so that you feel more comfortable in conversating with me and going back and forth. Even if, like, and Mom, if you listening, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. My mom says she's a slow typer. She, by the time she wants to comment on something, that I done moved on to something different after, and she feels as though it's too late. It doesn't matter. Just throw the comment out there. If I need clarity, I'll ask you what you're saying or what you're talking about. You comment on it again, and we'll get some understanding. But the goal and the point of the show is to have people going back and forth with me, debating whatever. If you are an Eagles fan, if you aren't an Eagles fan, I've been taking a lot of suggestions, and I know I want to engage with more other teams. Like my cousin Reese. He's a Packers fan. I got a guy named Buff who's a Lions fan who I wish I would have seen in the audience today because I know he would be talking trash. So it's just I need more engagement from people. If the people who retire would say something, being as they not in the league no more, they would have nothing to lose. Exactly, they wouldn't. But I'm just saying, like they don't have nothing to lose. But it's got to be a reason why this is happening the way it's happening. It's got to be. And I like it's weird to see it because it's like this team just come off a Super Bowl victory. And I get if if you're mentally not in a space to play football, or if you're physically not in a space to play, you know, football. I understand it, but like I, I don't know. It's just weird that how it's happening. And I'm not saying no other team hasn't experienced it, but it just seemed like it's the last 3 or 4 years that it's been happening with the Eagles, and it's just weird to me. Um, anyway, this is the part of the show where I get a little bit more engagement, a little bit more involvement. It's the pick'em part of the show. Okay, I could be your co-host. Okay, we could do a co-host. I'm not mad at that. We could do a co-host. Um, I'll show you how to do it. But you gotta have your camera on. You gotta be live. You can't hide behind a green screen. I'm just letting you know that now. You have to show your face like I'm showing mine. That's the only thing. So we in the pick'em part of the show. Whereas though this is the time where we pick the teams. Um, you could try adding current video evidence with your points to show what you're describing to help people better understand. It's hard to do that while live, and then I got to figure out how to really do it. I know the platform I use offers a way to present stuff, but I never did it. So maybe that's something I got to work on doing my off time, and try to figure out how to present stuff on live or just present stuff. Period. And it's a lot of work doing it because you gotta save the whatever it is you're doing. And you got to be able to present it at the right times. Whatever. It's just a lot that you got to do, and it's kind of hard. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna figure it out. That's something I probably would have to play with off grid, when I'm, just recording videos or whatever. Because to be honest, I don't really record videos on this platform, even though I probably should, but I don't. I usually just record them on my computer and then edit them and put them out because it's a lot easier for me to do it that way. But as the show goes on, as time goes on, I ain't got nothing but time. You know what I mean? Like this is something. Me and you, Jay, we talked about this, and we want to do this. So next week, hopefully, you're available that you could be on, and you could be a part of the show, and we can engage the audience and get people and talk about what we feel. But getting back to, like I said, week 11 pick'em sheet. Just so everybody knows, and I'm gonna say it live right now so everybody can understand and everybody know. Um, there's a $25 gift card to Wawa on the line for the top winner this week. Unfortunately, if you're not been a part of the show today, which has only been my wife Toya and Jason that's been commenting on the show, um, or if you're live in a pick'em hour, I even let it go to be if you're live in a pick'em hour. Um, those are the only people that will be available. I mean, eligible to win. So the rules, and I got is posted with the gift card giveaway, saying that the only way to be considered a winner is if you're a part of the live show on Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I get a lot of people got lives and things to do on Sundays. They cook and clean and whatever the case may be, getting ready for the first week or for the fresh week. But this is why I do it, so that you could be a part of this and I can get some foot traffic. I don't mind giving out $25 here and there to help me grow, but I need the help. So that's why I do it the way I do it. And and some people are not able to be on, and I get it. I don't do it to be smart, but I just need the foot traffic. Um, I know just helping by throwing the ideas out there. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. No, if you just, that's why I put that question up. Just keep throwing ideas out, and we'll, I'll make something shake. We'll get it happening. I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, we're gonna start with Thursday night football. We've seen the New York Jets lose to the New England Patriots. Patriots are on like an 8-game win streak. You know you late. Good morning. But we saw the New York Jets lose to the 13-6 Washington versus Miami. I picked my, we ain't get to that pick yet, but we saw the New York Jets lose to the New England Patriots. New England Patriots on like an 8-game win streak and are a legit threat to make some noise coming through the AFC. Keep an eye out on New England. You never know. We go see what happens. But I had New England in that game. Next game is the Washington Commanders versus the Miami Dolphins. We were watching them in Madrid, I believe they were in. And Jason just pointed out that they're up 13-6 over the Miami Dolphins. I did go with Washington in that game. I think Washington, between these two teams with a bunch of injuries, were probably still a little bit better in this game to win and come out with a victory. So I did go Washington in that game. Next game is the battle of the unknowns. You do not know what team or who's going to show up in this game. Carolina at Atlanta. Carolina at Atlanta. I went Carolina in this game. I think Carolina, to me, at the end of the day, I think they're 5-5. I think they're a better team than Atlanta as far as playing together. I think Atlanta has a better constructed roster than them, but you never know what team you're going to get when it comes to either one of these teams. You know what I mean? We saw Carolina go out and beat Green Bay the week before, and I think they came out and got bombed on last week. Where's my it's over there? Let me pull up the scores from last week. Let me pull up the scores real quick. NFL scores. Let's see. Sorry, y'all. So let me put that over there. Of course, I had the Pats. Yeah, you had the Pats. Let's see. Let's put up the rest of the scores from last week. Where am I at? My mouse acts crazy again. Yeah, the Panthers lost to the Saints 17-7, and the Falcons. Well, I knew that the Falcons were going to lose to the Colts 31-25, but neither one of these teams are consistent. Jason says Washington. I had Washington. What's up, Ant? What's going on? Good morning to you, brother. But between Carolina and Atlanta, we never know what team you're going to get. I picked Carolina. They should be embarrassed losing to the Saints like that last week. So Jason went Atlanta. We'll see what happens because, like I said, this is the battle of the unknowns. Like we don't know what offense, what defense, what team we're going to get. Morning, brother. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for being a part of the show. Next game we got is Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Buffalo Bills. We saw the Buffalo Bills last week get smoked. They got smoked by the Dolphins. Smoked by the Dolphins. And to me, if you want to be a Super Bowl contender team, teams like the Dolphins, you got to beat. You know what I mean? It's real questions now, in the Buffalo organization. If you're getting smoked by the Dolphins and you're in pursuit to try to be one of the best teams to win the Super Bowl, going forward, especially coming out of the AFC with Patrick Mahomes, you never know what this guy's going to do, and you're getting smoked. You're getting smoked by the Miami Dolphins. That's not a good look. Not a good look. Next game. By the way, like I said, I picked Buffalo in that game. In case anybody didn't know, I picked Buffalo in that game. Next game, Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. CJ Stroud is still out in concussion protocol. Even though he's out, I still think that they would have found a way to win that game. Tennessee is nice. They're going to be nice. They're a young team. Jason with Buffalo. I believe that the Titans is still not, I thought them adding Nick Chubb would be a good pickup for them because they would have had I don't think, what's the other, Joe Mixon has played all year long pretty much. But if they would have got both of them guys healthy and playing all year long, I believe that running back group would have been, a pretty hard group to stop. I mean, they lost Stephon Diggs, but they had a couple good young receivers to step up, but they're just not. They're just still young. You know what I mean? That first year, obviously, when D'Amico Ryans and C.J. Stroud come in, you don't know what the game plan against. So you believe what you saw was that C.J. Stroud is the next up and coming quarterback. And I'm not saying he's a bum, but now teams know how to game plan against him. You know what I mean? And it's just like Jaden Daniels. It's no different with Jaden Daniels. Teams knew how to game plan against him and seeing what he likes to do in certain situations. So that's why he doesn't look as effective as he was in his rookie season. But like I said, I went Houston in that game. I think Houston has enough to beat that team. They need the number one receiver been hurt, yeah, and he needs a line. He does, and that right there shocked me that they got rid of Larry Tunsil and all, and they traded They traded like 2 linemen away, which was shocking to me. Like why do you take protection away from your future franchise quarterback and expect him to be better? I don't get it. You know what I mean? But he does need a line, and two good valid points that their receiver been hurt, but Joe Mixon has been out too. So I mean, if they had that 2-headed monster at running back, it might have looked a lot differently. Because you take some of that pressure off of C.J. Stroud, and you get being as though you got the receiver out, you're running the ball at an effective rate because both of them guys can run the ball. You never know what that offense could have looked like. Next game is Chicago at Minnesota. Chicago Bears at Minnesota. The Bears last week didn't they? Yeah. Last week, let's see what the Bears beat the Giants last week by 4 in a comeback style. And a pick that my mom was almost right in. She was almost right in that pick. She picked the Giants to win that game, but they wound up losing in comeback fashion. And Jackson Dart wound up getting a concussion. He's out this week. They are starting Jameis Winston, which means that Russell Wilson they have no confidence in him, but he's actually. Now I can fully admit that he stinks. He's done. After this year, I'm pretty sure he's probably going to retire. It would be no point to try to be, going to get to another NFL team where you, at best, will be a second, maybe third string quarterback. You would hurt your career if you did that. Jason with the Bears. I went the Bears. I think the Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy. This is another one of those teams sometimes you never know what team you're going to get. J.J. McCarthy has not consistently been good. I don't know if he's really going to be the answer at quarterback for them. I like Minnesota's defense, but Caleb Williams has been playing some pretty good football. And I think he does enough to win that game against the Minnesota Vikings. It's going to be a good game, though, because I think both of them teams got good defenses, but I think the Bears is the team that's going to come out with the win. Next game is the Green Bay Packers at the New York Football Giants. Watch this be one of them teams. Watch this be one of them games that the Packers lose. Watch the Packers wind up losing this game. I watch it. I guarantee this. I picked the Packers to win. They should win this game convincingly. They should just like be bombs away against the Giants. They should. Michael Parsons should have a crazy game. But why should it be one of them games they struggle and lose? Watch. Just because we want them to win. They made a bad decision on their quarterback position. I agree. They should have kept Sam Darnold. They should have kept Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold. Look at Sam Darnold in Seattle. Look at Sam Darnold in Seattle. He's got. I mean, that team could very well be an NFC matchup in the championship against the Eagles. Could very well be. He got them playing some good football. You know what I mean? And it was, they believe J.J. McCarthy could be the future, but they starting to see that he's not. Jason went Packers. Good morning, mother. You went Green Bay. But watch this be one of them games that the Giants, Jameis Winston's had one of them unbelievable games and they wind up winning. Watch, because we all picking the Packers. Watch it be one of those games. This is going to kill me if it does. But I got Green Bay, just if anybody's confused. I did pick Green Bay. Next game is the Cincinnati Bengals at Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not sure if Joe Burrow is playing. Even if he is playing, I still like the Steelers in this game. I think the Bengals team at this point is kind of deflated. They're kind of like, I guess, up in odds about what this franchise is doing, how they're being run, and how the team is being built. There's rumors in the offseason that Joe Burrow might be traded to the Jets. I've heard something as steep as 5 first-round picks. I don't know why the Jets would do that. I would just go in the draft and grab me a QB. But that's what they're talking about. So that's why I believe that this team might be a little deflated. And why I went Pittsburgh. Jason went Pittsburgh. My mom went Cincinnati. It could go either way, like I said, but I just think that Cincinnati is defeated. Bengals can't stop nobody. Exactly the point. And you're playing against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh doesn't have a solid running back. Neither the guy. What is his name? Warren. I mean, he's not a threat. You know what I mean? He's not something you gotta worry about. Let me drink a sip of that apple cider. Excuse me. But I don't know. We're gonna see. I like Pittsburgh in that game though, because they haven't been able to draft a QB forever. They haven't, but they have to figure something out. Here's why. Because if the rumors is true that they're trying to offer 5 first-round picks for Joe Burrow, you can't deny Joe Burrow's talents. Miami's back in it. But you can't deny Joe Burrow's talents, but you got to question his injury history. So if you're going to spend that type of capital on him, is it really worth it? Is it really worth you setting your franchise back even more by offering 5 first-round picks or whatever, even if it's 2 first-round picks or 3 first-round picks? Is it worth you setting back your organization more to do that versus just try to draft a quarterback that you can hope develop into a star, legit quarterback? That's the question that you would have to ask if you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan. Next game is the Chargers at Jacksonville. I like the Chargers in that game. Chargers, to me, the defense is a little bit better. Travis Hunter is out for Jacksonville for the rest of the season. Not that he was a big game changer or anything like that, but I just think that, Jacksonville is one of them teams that, is one of the iffy teams. They're not as good as they should be. His injuries is because the Bengals never invested in the O-line to protect him, but the Jets O-line is no better. The Jets O-line is no better. So, like, if that's the case, and if you're the Jets, you invest in O-line and a quarterback, and especially with the capital you just got from the Sauce Gardner trade and Quinn Williams trade. Like you try to get O-line and quarterback. I wouldn't trade for a veteran a veteran quarterback. Jason picks the Chargers. My mom picks the Chargers. I wouldn't trade for a veteran quarterback. I build from ground up. I get my guys in here that I want and build and try to build it from the ground up. Even though you don't have a lot of time to really establish a forceful team, but I'm building from the ground up. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. If I'm the Jets organization, I'm going from the ground up. I'm starting fresh. I'm not trying to trade for nobody. Next game is, and think about it, Cincinnati. If they traded Joe Burrow, you think about the uproar that you would get from Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. That would be crazy. Next game is the Seattle Seahawks versus the LA Rams. That is going to be a crazy game. That is going to be a crazy game. The Seattle Seahawks at the Rams at the 4:05 hour. That is going to be a crazy game. I got Seattle in that game. I got Seattle because the defense, the quarterback, Sam Darnold, the receivers, they sneakily got better, and Rashid Shaheed from the Saints. I like that team. Like I mean, not better than the Eagles, but they're a solid team. Easy for you to say coaches have that kind of time. Doesn't have that kind of. That's what I said. Yeah, I know. That's what I said. I said they don't. Even though it's not a lot of time for him to develop any quarterbacks to be, in a better position. But if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out with my own people. I'm gonna go out with the people that I drafted. I'm gonna go out with the team that I built, I constructed. Like that's how I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out like that. Hey, Joe giving up 5 first-round picks for Joe Burrow, and it don't work out. I could be going sooner than I would be if I had just developed the team that I wanted to develop. My mom goes Rams. No, I changed my mind. Rams, Seahawks haven't played nobody yet. You can't change your mind, brother. You submitted your picks already. They're submitted. They're done. If you pick the Seahawks on Pick'em, on the sheet you submit on Pick'em, if you have the Seahawks down there, that's what you went with, brother. Like you can't change on the show. I can't edit them. I can't edit them. So whatever you pick, that's another thing that you got that people got to realize. Whatever you pick during out the week, you know what I mean? Like whatever you submit your picks, that's it. I can't change them. I can't say, okay, Jason, I want to go back and change from the Rams to the Seahawks. But I'm just saying, I know you're talking about now. I'm just saying, like, if you see, I mean, if the Seahawks lose and you got the Seahawks on pick them, you can't say, well, I picked the Rams on the show. No, you're going with the Seahawks on the pick them. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can change on the show, yeah, for whatever, but you can't change it on a pick 'em sheet. That's all I'm just trying to say. But Seattle, I got Seattle in that game. And you said Seahawks haven't played nobody. I never remember my picks by pick'em time. It emails you. So when you put your email in, the email is the copy of your picks, everything that you picked. So go in your email and look for the email from Google Forms, and you'll see everything that you picked. Everything that you picked. I'm not saying you can play it. I'm just saying it because even not you, it just might be other people that think that if I change my pick on the show, it should change, during the pick 'em. Like that's not, I can't do it. But I picked Seattle in that game. Next game is San Francisco 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals. I'm gonna get a comment that I'm probably gonna have to show half of it because I don't want to. We're not a weather channel. This is not the weather channel. But I went San Francisco in that game because I believe San Francisco just has the better team. Arizona, I think they rushed putting Jacoby Brissett in the game and saying that he's, better than Kyler Murray. But I even though Kyler Murray stinks, I don't think Jacoby Brissett was the right move at the time. Like, yeah, he's an infusion of, a spark of energy because he's just coming into the game. But I don't think that's something that you say, all right, I'm gonna ride with him. You know what I mean? Like, and put Kyler Murray on the injured reserve. I don't. I think that was a pressure move. I think that was a pressure move. Jason with 49ers. My mom going Arizona. I'm late today, but couldn't miss the opportunity to tell you we're only going up to 70 degrees today, cloudy, light showers. We're not the Weather Channel, and we didn't ask those questions, okay? And Jason, you're not helping. You're not helping. These comments are going to get you guys banned. You're not helping. You're not supposed to say 52 and windy. Like this is not the Weather Channel. You're supposed to have said it was 72, light winds. Feel good outside. We're in shorts and t-shirts. And you guys are messing up the program. Next game, I'm moving on. Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore is back a little bit more healthy. What's his name? Lamar Jackson is playing. No, it's no thank you. This is not this stuff is not a part of the show. So this has got to stop. I'm going Baltimore in that game. Baltimore to me is the better team right now. Cleveland is struggling. I don't know why this Cleveland team. At some point, if Cleveland does not put in Shador Sanders, it's nothing but hate. Dylan Gabriel, we know, is not the answer. But if they don't sit there and say, well, let me give Shador Sanders a try and a start to see what he can do, there's nothing but hate. And if I'm Shador Sanders, I push to get out of Cleveland at the end of the season. I push. I'm not saying that he's Tom Brady or anything like that, but you never know what you got until you put him in. And if you're not going to put him in, you only put. It's not like you're teetering on a playoff appearance or a Super Bowl run. You're not doing none of that. Give the man a shot. See what he can do. If worst come to worst, you just have a quarterback battle going into next year. That's the worst thing. They refuse to put him in, and it's crazy to me that they won't give him a shot. Exactly. I would push for a trade at the end of the season if they don't put him in. That's just me. I would push for a trade. Next game, Kansas City at Denver Broncos. This is why like teams like the Bills can't afford to keep losing. Now, Denver is on like a 7-game win streak or something like that, but they're playing against Kansas City at their home. They're at Mile High Stadium, but win streaks got to come to an end at certain points in time. And I think Kansas City right now will go into Mile High Stadium and get a win. I just believe they will because they've been Denver has been winning games by like the last second. You know what I mean? So I think Kansas City is going to just go in and just win that game. Jason goes Kansas City. My mom went Denver. They desperate. KC needs this win. Exactly, they do because playoff implications on the line for them. But truth be told, Baltimore has an easier schedule through the rest of the way than KC or Buffalo. So these two teams need to make up wins where they can, and I think Kansas City need to start today. So does the Buffalo Bills need to start against Tampa Bay. The next game, our last game of Sunday Night Football is, or they might miss the playoffs and shit. Exactly. I am calling for them to miss the playoffs. Not even to miss the playoffs, but I'm calling for them not to get to the Super Bowl. Next game is our last game, 8:20 Sunday night game. Detroit at Eagles. We talked about it in length at the beginning of the show. We believe that it's probably going to be a heavy passing game, only because we know that the Detroit Lions are struggling covering the pass. But and also because that the Eagles are trying to force feed AJ to keep him quiet and happy within the organization and within the offense. But me in particular, I need this to be a heavy balanced attack. I need Saquon to get in the game just as well as I need AJ, Devontae, and everybody else to be in the game. I need to see a smooth sailing offense so that the defense will go out there and do what they do. And at the end of the day, if we have that, we come out of here with a victory. It's not going to be an easy victory. It's going to be a hard-fought victory. But if we play Eagle-style football, we can come out with a victory. So we need to make sure we balance attack this team and not force feed. So we all win Eagles, obviously. Last game, Monday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys at the Vegas Raiders. I picked the Raiders in that game. Even though the Raiders can't stop nobody, every time I go pick Dallas, Dallas loses. Every time I pick against them, they wind up winning. So they're probably going to wind up winning this game. But I'm taking a chance and picking the Raiders, thinking that the Raiders might just attack this team offensively and win the game. Jason went Dallas. I think that if Ashton Genty goes off, they get some of the receivers involved. Geno Smith has stunk, and I get it. But like I said, I think that the Raiders have a good chance of coming out with a victory. I will be in Dallas next Saturday, and I will be happy to broadcast the Pick'em Sports on the show live. Yo, 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 yo. Let was to laugh at. That is probably the comment of the day. That was funny. Yo, 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 that's your girl, Pam B. That was pretty funny. Yeah, the Raiders do stink. Ma, I love you for that one. That was pretty good. My mom picks Dallas. I know the Raiders stink, but I just got a feeling that they might just come out with a heavy, attack game against that Dallas defense and come out with a victory. We're gonna see what happens. It's again, these two teams, they both suck, but one of them got to come out with a victory, and I just so happen to go with the Raiders in this one. So there you have it. There's the show for today. Again, there's a $25 gift card that's on the line for the Top Shelf Sports Talk week 11 already. Week 11 Pick'em Challenge. If you win the gift card, good luck. All I ask is that you take a picture. If you don't want to put your face in it, that's fine. I would like you to put your face in it, but if you don't want to put your face in it, that's fine. Just as long as you take a picture showing that we sent you the gift card. And if you do buy something after that, if you want to post us and tag us in it, that would be appreciated too. Just to show people that we're real over here and that we're actually trying to, reward the audience, with gifts when they participate with the show. So thanks, Jason. Say thanks in advance. You said that last time, and my mom wound up beating you. So don't jump the gun too fast. Now, if I was playing, I probably would beat all of y'all. Who's winning this game? Oh, did they fumble? Well, they stopped them. This might go. Yeah, it's 13-13. So I'm already up 1-0. I got one victory. If I win this game, I got two victories. I'll put my face on it too. Oh, I appreciate it. Psych. You ain't right, man. You ain't right. But at the end of the day, man, that's all I ask is that you take a picture of the gift card and I send a little note with it, saying, congratulations for being the winner of Week 11 Top Shelf Sports Talk Pick'em Challenge. And if whatever you get, a coffee, my mom said she would win again if you get a coffee, donuts, whatever you get. If you want to tag us in that too, I would appreciate that too. Like I said, if anybody has any suggestions about what I could do better on the show, how can I make the show more fun and engaging for people that want to come on and comment and talk or whatever. I know, Mom, you suggested I find a way to have people be able to call in. I have to look into that. Jay said I should show presentations of what I'm talking about so people can, have a visual look as to what I'm saying. Those are two very, very good suggestions. I'm going to write them down after the show. But if there's anything you guys think of, even after we're off the air, please feel free to text me. Both of y'all got my phone numbers, or tell me so that we can try to implement those things through the show. I just want everybody to be able to come on here, laugh, joke, and enjoy the show, enjoy the commentary, and engage and talk trash. Weather reports I might not do. That's not a good suggestion. That's a bad suggestion. Weather reports is not a good suggestion. But we will see. But again, we got the Eagles versus the Lions tonight. Eagles need to come out with a win. We need to dominate this team from start to finish. We need to show the rest of the league that AJ Brown might be irritated and frustrated with the offense, but all we're going to do is continue to win. We're going to continue to dominate teams, and this is how we do it. And and we're going to show it off today. So real quick, just to go out on our winning note, this is the video I always play when we before I get off the show. And I'm going to play it now because it's going to give us good luck for us to go out there and win Sunday Night Football against the Giants.
Thing I want you to do for me.
What?
Come here.
What?
Win.
What are we waiting for?
You know what you gotta do. Do it.
How you feel what's about to happen on this field, man?
They gon' get it to us, we got to take it.
They won't black out. We gon' get one black out. Stay together and keep fighting down. It's time to knuckle up. Do everything that move. And it is Hurts touchdown.
Brian Westbrook, he scored! Touchdown!
And the Eagles win. The Eagles win. Let's get into it all day. Relentless, relentless, relentless. All your spirit, all your power, all your love. Give me what you got. Right here, right now. You ain't ready for a fight? Go ahead and go home. Because that's what this gonna be for 4 quarters. A fight. We always win when we fight together. That's how winning is done.
Now get out there.
ELGLES Eagles!
Flyers, Phillies, let's talk about them. Sixers, Eagles, let's talk about them. What the Union doing? Pull up with the crew and have a drink or two and let's talk about them. This a PHI bar. Bruce Willis, we die hard. I know you feel us, cause Philly fans is the best sports fans by far. No cheating here, we gon' keep it fair. You don't like my set, somebody help them. This the key, if we can disagree without disrespecting, everybody welcome. So what we talking about? Practice? What we talking about? Let's unpack this. Top shelf, sports talk, lights, cameras, we active.